Hello, hello. Welcome to my human design channel. My name is Juji and this is HD by Z. If you're new here, this is a space where we talk about human design by analyzing celebrity charts, usually their relationships. And today is a really unique opportunity to look at the chemistry between some of Hollywood's odd couples, we might say. This idea sprang to mind when I heard that Jewel and Kevin Costner were dating, but they're definitely not the only couple that have raised eyebrows this year. Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet have been together all year, and people do not understand. And both of these couples had me thinking about the OG odd pairing, which was Harrison Ford and Calista Flockheart back in 2002, and they've been together ever since. So I wanted to see under the hood and see if I could find a pattern for why these couples got together, and I absolutely did, as always. But before we get into all of that, I'm really excited to announce that I made you guys something. So I get a lot of feedback from people when I'm just talking to them through DMs and things like that, that they really want to explore human design, but that they're really intimidated by how much information there is out there. And what's been reflected back to me a lot of the time is that I make things really simple to understand, which I find to be such an incredible compliment. So to ease people in, I have bundled all of my workshops for the first time ever. This has been a couple of years in the making. I'm releasing my master suite of 30 workshops. Yes, you heard that correctly, 30. There's an introduction to human design, there's my conscious connection workshop series and all of the rest. And it's on super sale because it's 2024 and there's no better time to get started with human design than right now. And originally the price is $1,200, but for you guys, it's $888 in honor of the fact that numerologically, that's a mouthful. Numerologically, 2024 is the number 8. So if you've been thinking about diving deeper into this system, if you want to have a self-paced, really easy to understand insight information about human design, please click the link in my bio and check it out. I'm so excited for you to get started. All right, so odd couples. I want to start by saying that at first glance, I feel like my husband and I are an odd couple. He's a wildland firefighter from Northern California, and I'm a human design coach from New York City. And yet somehow when you look at our charts together, you can see why we never run out of things to talk about. We have a very nurturing relationship, and the chemistry is off the charts. There are a lot of odd couples in Hollywood, but these three really stick out to me, and it's funny that 2023 brought us 2 of them. So without further ado, let's take a look at these charts. All right, we're going to start with Kevin Costner and Jewel. They are our most recent odd couple, and there is a 20-year age gap between them. Jewel is a 3-5 manifesting generator. Kevin Costner is a 3-5 generator. So right there with their profiles, you can see that they are well matched in terms of the harmony between their profiles. And their composite chart is single definition. They are each single definition on their own, and they remain single definition as a composite. So they connect to each other in a really harmonious way. They're also 8 and 1, have some fun with an open head center. So 8 centers defined, 1 open. And actually my husband and I also have this composite. It's really fun in terms of always wanting to know more about each other, about the world, always having something to talk about and having a lot of fun, like I said. And they have 4 electromagnetic connections together, which is very powerful. They have some interesting ones, the channel of curiosity, again, lots to talk about. Concentration, so they're both in the entertainment field. They're both very focused on their careers and can really understand that. And as single definition people, they can be very secure in the relationship together. Surrender, which is a fun one as far as the ego connection is concerned, very tribal in its nature. And together they have the channel of rhythm and flow. So as long as their rhythms are aligned and they have a clear-cut flow, they're going to have a very steady and even keel relationship. Let's take a look at Kylie and Timothy. So this is a little bit different. Timothy is a 3-5 generator. Kylie is a 6-2 MG. But the 3 and the 6 resonate with one another. Kylie's 6 line can definitely relate to Timothy's 3rd line, especially since she's not fully on the roof yet. So she is still in her 3rd line phase, and they can understand the mistakes, the bonds made and broken. You know, Kylie is usually seen with rappers and athletes and things like that, and Timothy is the exact opposite of her usual type, but their composite is single definition together. So again, there's this pattern of this insulation within the relationship. They are both also single definition by themselves. So relationships, while important, may not be at the forefront of their value system. And again, 8 and 1 have some fun. They don't have anything to prove to one another with this open ego center, and they have lots of beautiful connections. They have a lot of individual connections, in fact. So as long as they both are allowed to be their individual selves, Kylie's not trying to change Timothy into something that he's not, and vice versa, they'll have a really amazing time together. And these two also have the benefit of a companionship channel, the channel of mutation, this 360 from the root to the sacral. And this is a channel that's all about changing things. Mutation is not something that we can expect, but definitely Kylie has changed the game in terms of how cosmetic brands present themselves, how they are marketed, and Timothy has changed the face of the Hollywood heartthrob. You know, he's not this macho dude. He's absolutely this like brooding artist, kind of like New York City boy, and he has captured the hearts of many teenage girls. So he's absolutely changed things in that way. And a companionship channel actually points to more longevity than anything else in the chart. So we'll see how these two play out. They have been together for the majority of 2023, so that's already a pretty long connection for Hollywood. And I'm actually rooting for these two. I really like the way that they appear in public together. And finally, let's look at the OG. So Harrison is a 6-3 manifesting generator. Kalista is a 1-3. Again, the 3 and the 6 are in this harmonious balance together. So their profiles are great. They're both MGs. It's really easy for them to keep up with one another, even with their 20-year age gap. That's one of the reasons why people thought they were so odd in the beginning. They are also single definition. While these two are both split definition individually, they bridge each other's splits, so that's pretty significant. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electromagnetic connections with a 9 and 0 nowhere to go. So this is a very insulated relationship. It seems neither one of them has felt suffocated in it, so they are still together after all of this time. They have some individual connections, they have some intellectual connections, but then there's this emotional connection that they share together, and it's all about the bargain for these two. So as long as they continue to check in the relationship and make sure that they both enjoy the bargain, there's so much for them to have in terms of communal experience. Emotional connections are very juicy. They also have the channel of the wavelength together, which is about their collective talent. They seem to like to do projects together. So even though on the surface level, it doesn't seem like these two have a lot in common, this is a very, very strong bond from a human design perspective. So what can we learn from these various charts? Well, I think these three odd couples prove that what you see is not necessarily what you get. And that's the beauty of human design. It explains so much once you look underneath the superfluous, superficial things about someone. So if you have any preconceived notions about what your type is and what kind of guy you want to end up with, this is a way for us to see that you can expand these kinds of expectations and really get to the core of someone through human design. I feel like the fact that all of these couples are single definition show that chemistry is a very powerful part of anyone's connection to somebody else, and that security that the single definition chart brings to a relationship. And listen, chemistry can be deceiving as well. Just because you feel this really intense pull or this attraction towards someone, that doesn't account for their conditioning, right? We are all the combination of the chart and our conditioning. And so sometimes when the chemistry is there, but something doesn't feel like it's connecting properly through that relationship, it's most likely because your baggage doesn't go with theirs. I've experienced this in my life 100%. All of the things were in place. We had common goals, we had commonalities. But if you looked at our love language, if you looked at the priorities in the relationship, they were not a match. And so it's not about trying to force something that isn't working. And it's also not about rejecting somebody for superficial things when you do have this connection with them. And this is why I love analyzing celebrity charts, because it helps us to understand and take what we can learn from them into our own lives. All right, guys, I think that's a really good place to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this sleuthing as much as I did. If you have any celebrity couples that you want to nominate, maybe an odd couple, maybe a couple that you really admire, I would love for you to put that in the comments. I also really love it when you guys drop questions down there. I love answering those for you. And don't forget, my Master Suite is available now through the end of January on sale for $888. The link will be in the bio. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, everyone. Ciao for now.